murdered. I said murdered, not by the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire, but by the people we elect to protect us, and by greedy and gatekeeping nonprofits who cannot see the forest for the trees. For the first time since the fire, I truly feel and understand my wife's inconsolable pain. Because I'm struggling to find a path to recovery and at least some form of normalcy. My community is crumbling right in front of my face. Lack of funding to rebuild is slowly destroying us. Many of us can no longer hold out, and developers are gobbling up our property. When I hear voices like Tavis Smiley and James Farr speak truth to power on KBLA Talk 1580, it reminds me that we're not crazy, just unheard. Make no mistake here, KBLA delegation, this is war, and we the people of Black Altadena are losing. It's like waiting for reparation. Not gonna happen, brother. In this new orange man world, no one, no entity is persuaded by right or wrong. There is no consequence for doing the wrong thing, and no accolades or support for doing the right thing. Will war-torn Black Altadena survive? Your guess is as good as mine. But what have I got to lose? I'm in my 70s and don't have time to wait. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once suggested that riots break out when people have no hope. But there is nothing left to burn down in Altadena. I wish I could say I remain hopeful that my beloved community will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes. I wish I could. With a KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Pasadena Community Coalition at gmail.com. Reach out to me. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Just begun, got a temper like a gun, pointing it at everyone. That's his game, and it helps him to get through the day. But a voice inside him says, how much longer can I play? He's got infinite possibilities, I can see them now. It's the unbroken chains of his past by which he's bound. He's got infinite possibilities, I can feel them now. If he should do well, then nothing can tear him down. Peace of mind, not easy for him to find.
It's time to set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we are fortunate we get to speak with a meditation instructor. She is the creator of the Saji yoga system, yoga expert, sound bath expert, sound healer, life coach, astrologer, numerologist, so much more. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's all actually part of what she does to get ourselves, to get you and me right. Saharah Ali, good morning. Time for Mindful Monday.
Morning, Dominique. Good morning, Dominique and KBLA family. Welcome back, Dominique. I'm so happy you are here. And welcome, everyone, to Mindful Monday, where we get our minds right for the week by setting positive intention to honor our mind and our body through meditation, prayer, and affirmation as we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with our power, wisdom, truth, and faith. Right now, we're having unprecedented celestial influences shifting our collective perception, liberating us from tradition and routine as we step into our first wave of Uranus and Gemini, signifying freedom, aiding authenticity, driving innovation, influencing communication, education, transportation, and most of all, collective consciousness. Uranus is the cosmic disruptor, shaking things up, accelerating progress, breaking patterns no longer serving our highest good, and reshaping humanity as we begin to integrate the age of artificial intelligence, reprogramming how we embrace technology as a tool for authentic expression. But the upside is freedom. Freedom from archaic biases, opinions, and outdated truths, enhancing liberation. The call to action is mindfulness. honoring our intentions, taking heed of where our thoughts and conversations lag behind reality and not connected to or unconnected to our higher consciousness. Uranus electrifies the sign of Gemini, the twins, where dialogue becomes a catalyst for growth, aiding infinite possibilities. Our task is to listen as much as we speak, engage ideas, challenging evolution, allowing the unexpected to become the source of our enlightenment rather than unrest. Knowing everything in the physical world is already history, how are we willing to rewrite our future? As Uranus and Gemini invites us over the next 6 years to awaken and to let go of the old and to build something new. So going forward, let's lean into our Mindful Monday meditation. Take a breath, anchoring your feet to the earth, connecting to purpose, intertwine with your soul's wisdom. Be right here, right now. Breathe. Be here in present time, open to the wisdom from the Most High. Breathe, relax, trusting divine wholeness, and open to planting new seeds of transformation. Breathe in wholeness, opening your heart, opening your mind, ready to embrace change. Relax and mindfully connect to your center. Relax and let go. And now take a big breath and be right here, right now, calming your mind. And as you slowly exhale, relax and listen deeply to your inner voice. Just breathe, being on purpose in this moment, connecting to your breath, leaning into the divine. Listen for clarity. With every breath, listen for clarity and allow yourself to relax. Breathe in your wholeness, call on your ancestors, and surrender to a new beginning. Relax and prepare yourself for transformation and change. Breathe, ready to embrace the divine guidance that supports that change. Relax. Relax and connect to the light within you, open and ready to be a change agent, to help build a new future, to be unapologetically on purpose, and to help unfold fulfillment. Relax and breathe. Connect to your light, connect to your wholeness, and open your mind and listen with a soft heart. Listen and feel the power of the wisdom within you. Feel your clarity. And allow yourself to believe change is the gift of divine order. Just relax and breathe, quieten your mind, and open yourself to release our Mindful Monday affirmation. Today, I embrace the wisdom of my soul, celebrating the power of my highest good with grace. Today, I embrace the wisdom of my soul, celebrating the power of my highest good with grace. Relax, connecting with that, connecting with your grace. Breathe, and as you bring your awareness back, give yourself permission to be in present time. Give yourself permission to embrace the wisdom of your soul and navigate with mindfulness. Navigate with truth. Allow yourself to be the change agent in this moment. Every thought, every emotion, every feeling, every word, every belief system is up to be reframed. Give yourself permission, as Spike Lee would say, to do the right thing. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you, KBLA family. Thank you, Tabitha Smiley and Mal. Have a beautiful, wonderful, blessed week. And be unapologetically on purpose with your light and your gifts.
Yeah, just a couple things I wanted to circle back to. You said listen with a soft heart. Can you elaborate on that just a little bit? I just love that so much.
Well, sometimes we hear things and we react. And we react with anger, we react with frustration, we react with helplessness. But if you listen with a soft heart, you are able to hear the divine within you to navigate. It's always, I tell my clients, stop, drop, and roll. Stop for a moment. Roll over whatever this is that you've given your power to. allow yourself to reframe and soften your heart, soften your mind, so you have clarity. Because in a heated heart and a heated mind, you miss truth. You miss the reality of what the divine has placed you in. Rage and anger and the feelings of helplessness doesn't create change. It just creates more chaos. So if we soften our heart and soften our mind, we can go within the world behind our eyes and get clarity and be empowered. You know, my grandmother would say, don't let the right hand know what the left hand is doing. And when you soften your heart, nobody knows what both hands are doing.
And then the other thing that I just wanted to touch on for a second is you said, I tried to write it down, but I don't think I got the quote exactly right. Change is the mandate of divine order, or is the something of divine order?
Yes, the divine change is the gift of divine order, and change is very necessary. And we, you know, with Uranus in Gemini, you know, it's going to be there till November, then it's going to go out and it's come back, and it's going to be there for 7 years. And, you know, if you go through history, and so I talk about these celestial events, and you can go back to history, and this is why I love astrology, because it denotes a time and space, and you have, as we would say, you have the receipts to understand and see how celestial influences affect our times. So, like, when Uranus was discovered, like, in 1700s, and shortly after that, we discovered how to make newspapers. The other time it was there, we had our First World War. And so Uranus and Gemini, you know, go through history, you see, you know, the computers were invented and just a lot of progressive things. And so what's happening now, the call to action is to have a progressive consciousness with progressive action, but to have emotional management and discernment as you go about changing your heart, changing your mind. Because Gemini rules the superconscious mind. We would not have technology, cars, communication. We wouldn't have movement without the power of Gemini and its Mercury influence. And so with Uranus there, the planet of expansion, is asking us to grow, to change how we communicate, to change how we conduct our actions, to change where our minds can take us. So if you change your mind, you change your life.
Absolutely. Well, Saharah Ali, thank you so much for elaborating on those things and for setting our week on a positive trajectory. Okay,
and I have to put this on the table. You know, speaking of Gemini and Mercury, well, Mercury is retrograde. Actually, we're in a Mercury wobble. Mercury goes retrograde on Friday, you know, and it's going to be, you know, how our Mercury retrograde is. It'll be there until August 10th. So we're going to have a retro shade and wobble and everything. So just be mindful of that. And our Mercury retrograde is in Leo. So you've got to manage your emotions and reframe your aggression and understand that we are all divine beings. And when we are not in our divinity, somebody needs to pray.
Okay, got it. Yes, indeed. Saharah Ali, thank you. If you want to find out what Saharah's up to, a sound bath, a yoga class, you can go to saharahali.com and tap in. You already know you have to be on time for these things. If you are looking for an appointment, you want a reading or a sound healing, you can call Elise, that's Saharah's assistant, at 213-628-9783, 213-628-9783. It is the perfect time to call me. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops. I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer. So I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions. This is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Okay, so you heard me open the show talking about how we spent some of our time this weekend celebrating 12 years of Black Lives Matter, the boots on the ground formation, the real Black Lives Matter, of course, now known as Black Lives Matter Grassroots, and how there were folks in town from all over the country. There's now 51 chapters, including one in Sweden, and we've got a couple folks who got up this morning to join us, even though you had a long day on yesterday. Yes, Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint Chapter is in the building. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Introduce yourself to the KBLA delegation and folks who are like, what? There's a Flint chapter? Now you know.
Yes, there is definitely a Flint chapter. We've been engaged with Black Lives Matter Flint, or Black Lives Matter Grassroots, since 2015. And so my name is DeWan Robinson, and I serve as the president of BLM Flint Grassroots. And just, definitely when you talk about being in the struggle, been an activist for a better part of my life. So always pushing the needle forward, always looking to advance the culture and the mission of our people, dedicated to progress. So I'm glad to be here in LA with the family.
So it was always like a no-brainer for you. You just were born that way.
I was born, I never liked the depression, right? I feel the spirits when you talk about epigenetics. I feel the stress and the anger and the frustration of our ancestors, and so that's what keep me activated, right? That's what continue to put on the, put the energy out there on the front line. So I'm just, dedicated to, continue to doing my part, right, as we change the greater scheme of things.
Yes, and good morning. I'm Hubert N. Roberts. Also, I'm the co-chairman of Black Lives Matter Flint Grassroots, Bam Bam and Dito. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. My brother was in the Panthers. My mother was a teacher, a community activist. So it's always been in my blood. So that commitment has resonated with my life, even being 69 now.
What?
I continue
69,
to do.
69, and you're not anywhere near 69.
No, ma'am.
No, I'm not. I'm half half days, right?
And so I only point that out because one of the things that I loved about seeing the convening of all these Black Lives Matter chapters is just the range. You got young people, you know, young 69-year-olds and younger people, little kids running around.
And that's the flow, you know, to keep that energy and that excitement and being incredible is being able to integrate, you know, the youth along with our seniors, you know what I mean? Because I do believe that as long as you have life, you have a responsibility and a commitment.
Yeah. And what is that commitment for you?
It's making sure that our community have ownership over everything from education to banking to farming and to healthcare. Our commitment is, I believe, 100% owning blackness, and I think that will be a game changer in our communities across this country and across the world.
How did you feel? You know, we'll start with you, DeWan, but I would love to hear from both of you. Just seeing all of these chapters come together, kind of networking with Black Lives Matter grassroots activists from coast to coast, the prison chapters, even Sweden.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing, right? Especially when we all came together and, you know, you see everyone and hear about all the great work that they're doing in their community. How they're impacting, and then just, of course, us just getting into the space as one. I think that's important, right? When I feel like, you know, the burnout is real, like, you know, we be working in our own silos in our own communities on issues that we be facing on a day-to-day basis. And, you know, it's just, you know, really kind of refreshing to come to these convenings where we learn skill building, right? We talk about some of the wins and the challenges that we're facing and what we're doing about it. You know, so I was just telling the brothers last night, we was out in the lobby. It's about 4 a.m.
Hotel lobby.
Yeah, hanging out in the lobby, right, and just kind of sharing
should've
stories.
Just stayed up.
I should have just stayed up, right? I came in, brother was like, he was already asleep, so I was like, man, let me go and lay down for a couple hours. But definitely, you know, just kind of having a real conversation with each other. So it was just a good feeling, very, very mutual respect. Appreciate, you know, the black love that we have for one another. I think that's amazing, and we don't necessarily, you know, get the chance to see each other, you know, throughout the year. But this is like just really kind of recalibrates, you know, re-energize and get us back focused for like a second win as we get back to our community and continue on the fight.
Yeah.
And for me, the same thing. I echo that, but again, it also helps to really allow us to understand the level of commitment that we must have. And also, how do we bring other people on board? Because, again, we have all the tools that we need. It's just that our community is really suffering from a lack of inclusion because they're under a delusion. And so we're trying to create a gumbo that will allow everyone to actually get on board, even whatever stratification of income may be, that we all have a commitment for us to be dignified in our community and love one another, as opposed to all this internal hate that we feel for each other. And so these opportunities, when we come here, for he and I, but you know, he wasn't here last year, and as I was able to go and hang out with the Sharks last year with surfing, I wasn't able to do it this year. But I just think that those kind of things help to build a solid understanding as far as how we go back to our communities and have new ideas, connecting with other people, what they're doing around the country, and how we can interface and continue to do this amazing work.
For people that don't know what he's referring to, the Black Lives Matter grassroots chapters, some of them went and took surfing lessons yesterday at Bruce's Beach. Yeah. So you mean literally swimming with the sharks?
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Literally.
And I wasn't here last year because I was, you know, I had spreading my African grandmother, Dr. Ehil Deloney, ashes throughout Egypt. So I was here in spirit, and I did want to do the surfing. But some things kind of bagged up. So.
When you say skill building, though, aside from the surfing, what kinds of things are you talking about, DeWan?
I'm talking about I love what Baba Watani brings when you talk about the security measures.
Yeah.
How we just move, right? How we protect one another, right? Because first and foremost, we are our own protection. And so learning these strategies to be able to implement in our community, working with our youth vanguard, making sure they're on point, right? Not only just tearing down a place, but building it up.
Yeah.
Right? And then also kind of learn I love what Baba Keeley definitely provides information on organizing. Right?
Yes.
The brother been doing it for a long time. He's very insightful about it. So just learning and just seeing how we can be better organizers. First and foremost, we mobilize. Then the next step, we organize. But those methods that we employ is so vital, so critical. So it's better skills for us and how we should be moving, then also how we implement in our strategies. But that's the thing about skill building. And this is, where we come together and kind of talk those things through.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how there's a science to organizing.
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
not just going out and being random and yelling, like whether it's Reverend James Lawson or Akili, or whoever that's teaching and implementing it. There's a discipline to it, right?
Well, there's a serious strategy, and I think that what we have that's so beautiful, we can really take from like Marcus Garvey and Malcolm. There are so many different elements that pour into our skill building because there's not anything new under the sun. It's just that level of commitment. And then how do we help to encourage others to be reminded that this is important? So often, our community is suffering from such lack of understanding about the power and the greatness of who they are. Because across the board, when you think about how do we better use technology, how do we better use, when I was sitting in the media class, and I was just thinking of all these great ideas as far as the TikTok and the different things like that could drive our narrative as opposed to waiting for a crisis. How do we be proactive? And so that's what those skill building sessions really mean to me.
Yes, indeed. BLM Flint, Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint Chapter is in the building. DeWan Robinson, Hubert Roberts. And we're continuing the conversation after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A deadly fire tore through Gabriel House, an assisted living facility in Fall River, Massachusetts, late Sunday. Here's Fall River Mayor Paul Coogan.
It's a terrible tragedy for the family and the residents, and fire department, police, DMS, everybody did a 5-star job.
Multiple residents died, dozens were injured, and 5 firefighters were hurt. The cause is under investigation. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams raised $1 million in one night, rallying support for his independent re-election bid against progressive Democrat Zohran Mamdani. With big donors and bold stakes, the race is heating up fast. And a new report reveals black health professionals in South Africa face racial bias in fraud investigations by medical schemes. GEMS, which stands for Government Employee Medical Scheme, is taking corrective steps, but Discovery Health disputes the findings. Unions are demanding systemic reform. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers head into the All-Star break after taking 2 of 3 from the Giants in San Francisco. They scored 3 runs after 2 outs in the 11th inning Sunday to beat the Giants 5-2. The Dodgers will have 4 players in the All-Star game Tuesday night in Atlanta. Catcher Will Smith, first baseman Freddie Freeman, designated hitter Shohei Ohtani, and pitcher Clayton Kershaw. The Angels ended the first half of the season with a 5-1 loss at home to Arizona. Even though the Angels are 2 games below 500 at 47-49, they have 6 more wins than what they had last season at the All-Star break. They were 14 games under 500 at the break last year. The Angels are 11-10 with interim manager Ray Montgomery. Montgomery took over for Ron Washington on June 20th when Washington stepped down because of undisclosed health reasons. Washington, one of 2 black managers in Major League Baseball, will not return this season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. And I thank you, thank you.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, also known as AD, a type of dementia that affects memory, thinking, and behavior, making everyday tasks challenging. But did you know that black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? There are things you can do to help reduce your risk for developing AD. Managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure is crucial. Staying physically active, maintaining social connections, eating a healthy diet, and keeping your mind engaged with activities like reading or puzzles can all contribute to brain health. It's also important to recognize some common signs and symptoms of early AD, such as forgetfulness that causes problems with everyday life, asking the same question a few times in a row, and difficulty concentrating on basic tasks. If you see these signs in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatallzearly.com. That's treatallzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
Hey man, hey, what's up, bro? What's that station you listening to? Oh man, you don't know? That's Talk Radio, KBLA 1580 AM. Check it out. 1580 KBLA AM. 1580 Talk Radio. Progressive.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're celebrating our 4th anniversary, and this track right here is the gift one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
Where you get some information, get a true education to know. Ooh, yeah. 1580.
How cool is that? Having a member of our KBLA delegation write us a song. Stop it! Our listeners love us and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks to Cardell and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you right black.
KBLA 1580 Talk Radio. Progressive.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
And bright and early in the studio, ready to go. We can see Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint does not play. DeWan Robinson is here. He's the president. Hubert N. Roberts is here. He's a co-leader.
I'm the chairman.
You're the chairman. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And, man, there's so much to cover. I wonder, right now, it's almost illegal to be in Black Lives Matter. It may soon be illegal given what is happening with Trump and the MAGA New Confederate administration. Does that make you feel discouraged? Does it make you feel worried, or just the opposite?
Well, no, I think we've been fighting the fight for a long time. There's been opposition everywhere we went, right? So this is nothing new. So what I suggest that it always inspires to continue to go even harder. If we know that we got this opposition, we know we got these barriers in place, then we really must go ahead and do the work, times 10. So I think that's something that, is kind of keep, they don't dictate anything. I know folks might be in position of power, may be in position, whatever the case is, we got work to do as people. First, it starts with us. We're organizing about plans and strategies that we want to see for ourselves and our communities. Then we follow through with putting those things out and let nothing or nobody stop it. So Administrations in the past have attempted to block black movements. If our people succumb to the pressure, then we won't be where we are today.
Yeah,
and I think it's amazing that, when you say that, because first of all, this country is an illegal enterprise to begin with. Once you start there, you know your level of commitment. So they're like with Ella Baker, Fannie Lou Hamer, the list go on and on about resistance. And so a lot of times we got to understand that even our oppression is our liberation. And we are the greatest human beings on this planet, and we are here for a purpose.
When you say it's an illegal operation, you're talking about the genocide of the indigenous persons? What are
yes,
you
ma'am. Well, it started with that. When you think about how do you discover something that was already there, number one, and then you illegally contraband people that was minding their own business on the continent of Africa, and you enslaved them for the rest of their life and brutalized them for 500 years. So that's what I mean by illegal enterprise. And so that level of commitment, as you asked the question, is there's no fear. Because we are going to die, we can choose to live a certain way. And for me and those that I try to interface with, I try to encourage them that we all are going to die. So let's turn up our level of commitment and make sure that they are not like us, and boots on the ground and pop the fans.
Jamal Hakeem wants you guys to be real specific as to where exactly Flint is.
Come on now, man. Jamal, listen. Flint is the biggest star on the map, right? It's that big city in that mitten, what you call Michigan. Now, Flint is actually about 45 minutes from Detroit, heading north. So we are a city about 90,000 people now. At our height, we were over 300,000. We are like, brothers to the city of Detroit. So you come to Michigan, everyone knows about Flint, whether you know it's about the Flint housing movement, the fair housing movement, if you know it's about, Flint water crisis, but just how resilient we are as, residents of a great city of Flint. You definitely know that Flint is in the house.
Yes, and Flint had the second. When you think about Cleveland had the first black mayor, Flint had the second black mayor. And as he said, we had a first-class educational system because of the auto industry. Flint put wheels or the world on wheels. And so understanding where Flint is an amazing, amazing place. Yes, it has his serious issues, but the history of Flint is amazing. And again, we invite listeners to come by, stop by, and visit with us. We'll put you to work, but we'll make sure that you have a good time.
And always understand too, Flint is definitely the home of Vehicle City. So GM, all your motor things that you see on the road today, right? It all began in Flint. So Flint has a lot of history to be proud of.
Jamal says, I love my Flint brothers. I lived in Detroit. And thank you, Jamal, for giving a shout out to my dad, Amiri Baraka, a.k.a. Leroy Jones. Rest in peace, Pops.
Yeah,
Look,
in peace, Pop.
And my dad spent probably his whole life, definitely his whole life, trying to activate black people. And that's one of the things we were talking about off the mic. DeWan, how do I know you give this a lot of thought. How do you activate black people, especially in the environment we're in right now?
And black people should be activated anyway. Like, look at what we have to deal with on them. Black people should be the first one to get out there and activate and do the work. So I think now, man, black people have been beaten down. We suffer from trauma that we haven't necessarily did any healing. So people more like kind of stay out the way rather than get involved. And so we got to stop that thing. We got to look at it from a mindset. We got to change how we think about this, how we look at the situations and the issues that we face. Do we want to succumb to the pressure, or do we want to rise and be strong or make our ancestors proud like, we've known to do over time and time? So, right now I just want black people to understand, like, it's a role for everybody. Everybody play a part. It's like a team, right? If you're a team and you use a vehicle, components of the vehicle, you got the wheels, you got the tires, you got the steering wheel, you got the motor, you got all these different things in the car, right? It's a team effort, right? It's like a machine. If you don't have one component, then you can't move accordingly. You can have the biggest engine, most expensive engine, right, with the seats, drop top. If you don't have a key to turn it on or move it, then we can't go nowhere. So black people got to stand up, man. Stop standing on the sidelines. Stop waiting for other folks to do the work. Stop saying like, oh, Black Lives Matter got it. Or, oh, this group is going to do this.
Right.
The thing is this. Look in the mirror and see what you going to do about it.
Yeah. And You want to add on to that?
Well, I think I echo that. I do think that the level of commitment, they have to see it to believe it, and actually building it. A lot of our people, like you said, have been totally brainwashed and really want to be white. Most black people want to be white. And so we suffer from
I challenge that, but
okay. We suffer from that. Yeah, well, we suffer.
Mindset-wise.
Mindset-wise,
yeah,
I
know what you're talking about.
But we suffer from that real bad as far as what we deal with, as far as our community understanding their greatness and not compromising. And so when I make that, some things that I use or we use in some of the work that we do shock value.
Right.
Our people want to be entertained. Yes. And the entertainment of our people has caused us to really lose out on our commitment to one another. We have a program in Flint that we do door to door, literally going door to door, because many people now do not know their neighbors. Yeah. And so when you talk about direct action, as far as how do we have pop-up block parties, again, how do we encourage our people, number one, that we are a collective. And so we have to be bold and creative and do like Tupac said. Tupac said, I'm here to spark the mind. And that's the commitment, just like James Baldwin, Randall Robinson, and Akhenaken, the list goes on and on about.
But you said off the mic that you wanted to challenge some of the entertainers to do more.
Yes, ma'am. And that is something that I've been doing somewhat as far as wanting to establish boycotting the NBA, the NFL. Really, yes, ma'am. Because
the NBA, okay.
Yes, ma'am, the NBA, because I haven't watched sports. I haven't watched sports myself personally since Colin Kaepernick was denied opportunity to
all
be.
Sports. You didn't. Just,
I don't watch all.
You
sports,
didn't just swear off of football,
but all sports. And so how I move, I'm in a fraternity, and then even with these different elements, I'm trying to get people to understand we have power in our collective. But if we shut the country down, just like now, if black people stop spending for a week, what would that really look like? And we are working to do that in Flint as far as how do we work with allies, but how do we move our community? Because the number one power we have is our dollar. Our dollar, as far as bullets and all, if the number one power we have is our money. And if we stop spending for 1 week or 1 month, it could change the tide of this country.
I mean, you look at what's happening to Target right now. We'll continue our conversation with Hubert Robertson, DeWan Robinson from BLM Grassroots Flint when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent, and the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
no warrant, no key, my privacy. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside.
Don't say a thing.
Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Flint is in the building, and I'm wondering, yes, indeed, DeWan Robinson is the president, and Hubert N Roberts is the chairman. And I'm wondering, you know, the cameras have mostly turned away from the work of Black Lives Matter. There's been some real terrible right-wing attacks on the organization. In fact, I know because I was there that you were addressing one of those on yesterday. How is that affecting support as far as fundraising or community advocacy and backing of what you do?
Yeah, I think, you know, that kind of situation is like a fad, right? You only got the limelight for a short period of time. And so what you do with it is going to be the impact. So I think when you're talking about it, when George Floyd was brutalized and murdered, of course, you know, the light was on BLM. You know, we were activated. We were doing protests all around the country, which was phenomenal. But then also it's the work that continues on. Even though the camera, the limelight is not there, that don't necessarily mean we're not working. It's not meaning that stuff is not getting done. I think we have moved more into building the in-house with, you know, dealing with internal control systems, getting their strategies, what programs or project that we look to, you know, strategize and move forward on. So it definitely affected, I guess, because it's not in the news run every day. It's not in the media. It's not highlighted. So the fundraising could go down. You can see a dip in fundraising. But then also you can see, I guess, awareness. But then at the same token, when we know that, you know, of course, we do have the light for so long, we have to create our own ways and forms of communication. We have to have our own media outlets, like what we're doing here with KBLA, right? Just like what we're doing with Fly City Blackout, our podcast. So we are the fad. We are the energy, right? We are the narrators behind our stories. So it doesn't matter if, you know, mainstream media is not covering it. That's our responsibility to get the word out through, you know, media, through newsletters, through conversation, right? Functions, events, things of that nature. So nevertheless, right, we're going to continue to keep pushing the message out there, regardless if folks, the news is covered or not. But we also need folks to be able to be on the lookout. Always continue to keep understanding that this is not just a quick fix. This is lifetime. Yeah. You got to be dedicated to be able to support the mission every day of life, whether they looking or not, and whether you got the platform or not. So I want to encourage all our people, continue to keep uplifting Black Lives Matter Grassroots. Continue to keep supporting, fundraise, donate, right? If you can't get out there on the front line with us, make sure that you contribute in your own form of way, right? Because this fight ain't over, right? And we got to continue to be boots on the ground.
How do we find your podcast?
Oh, you can find it on YouTube. You can also find it on all social media platforms. You got Instagram. You got Facebook. We are Fly City Blackout. So that's FLIBLACKOUT. Fly City Blackout. You can catch us Tuesdays and Saturdays. Interviewing prolific figures, talking about business. What is our black master plan, right? You carry that energy, right? I'm telling you, not only you will be entertained, so much as our black people like to do, you'll be informed.
Well, I want to make sure that we clear, you know, there's never been an investment in black people. Number one, we was brought here to die, to work and die. You know, in 1793, the Fugitive Slave Act was instituted for a reason. So when you ask the question, the investment, and even when you think about Urban League, NAACP, or any of the black organizations, they were always being funded by white allies to some degree, but there was always some kind of white conglomeration or business that was backing them because white people have always held on to all the power in this country. We got to be clear about when it comes in the question that you asked. It is a struggle. When you think about the East-West Bank in San Francisco that's owned by Japanese, have a asset of $60 billion. The largest black-owned bank is One United Bank in America out of Boston, and it has an asset of $700 million. So that shows you the disparity. And the Chinese been here 125 years. We've been here 500 years. So the level of investment is not there because there had never been investment in black people, number one, other than for us to be here to die. We do have our internal investment that if our people, I said earlier, and you push back on a little bit, we want to be white. A lot of times we don't want to invest in blackness because we move away from any power structure. Most people look at whiteness as power. And so they want to make sure that they don't upset their stakeholders because they are donating to black causes.
Yeah, I mean, you said a whole bunch of stuff that we could do an entire show on, but since I only have you guys here for a few minutes, we'll save that for next time.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to me. How do we find Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint? You guys are on Instagram. You guys are on. Where do we find you?
Yes, ma'am. We're on all social media. So please look us up. Just put us in there. Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint, Michigan, and we will pop up.
When we hear about Flint, we think about water because that was the big ongoing controversy.
Yeah.
Is that something you guys deal with, and what do you want people to know about it?
Yeah, of course, we've been dealing with Flint water crisis. It's been 13 years. We just had a 13-year commemoration this year, right? It's no celebrating that. It's just always just continue to raise awareness that Flint residents have not been made whole. I know that, like we talk about with the light and the media, you cover those things and you see like, oh, well, you know what, they received a settlement, right? Or people are making donations and contributions. Nevertheless, right, we got flawed leadership here in Flint. And that's the problem, right? So you can donate, support, all those different things. But if we don't have the right people or visionary leaders in place, right, to facilitate those dollars, it's going to be impactful and making sure that residents are made whole. Where you got homeowners will begin pipes replaced because it was damaged. Where you got children who have suffered from medical conditions because of the water and they have lifetime health care insurance, then we ain't done nothing, right? We still have 22,000 service lines here in the city. And we are just now coming to the end of completion of that, right? That is insane. That is unfortunate. They came in with the emergency manager law to be able to succumb to pressure and really handcuff the officials in the first place, and then be able to sell the city assets. So those are some things that we fight on a daily basis. We do fight the emergency manager law. We do continue to fight for Flint. The water is not fixed in Flint. We still on the ground, still activating and still putting the word out there. People have not received a dime from the water crisis settlement, which was $460 million, which may seem like a lot, but in a city of 100,000, it's not too much. And how the formula is set up, mainly the children will be defended, which they should. But then what about those parents who had to suffer too, who was inconvened just to be able to raise their children with bottled waters? So, when you talk about the psychological issue too with the water crisis, that does a number on us. There will be places when I go out of town and, I would be, drinking bottled water or brushing my teeth with bottled water, right? So you don't understand the impact that's made when you, kind of went through the situation and then how it's infected you to be able to interrupt your normal lifestyle. So we do want to make sure that everybody know Flint is not fixed. We still need support. We do want you to come, and if you can be there to, work with the grassroots organizations to really do the work and help folks who are suffering. We encourage you to get with Black Lives Matter because that's an initiative of ours. We're going to continue to keep putting the word out there and let folks know where we stand.
Yes, and so on that note, it's intentional. What was done to Flint was intentional. It wasn't an accident. And even prior to, 2014, when it actually happened, General Motors, the car company, noticed, and there was some alarms that was sent out in the community. People were saying their water was coming out of this faucet, terrible colors. And they did not believe us until General Motors parts, the factory stopped using the water. That tells you something about a level of commitment of officials that were denying the reality of the residents. But it go back to 1901. because even before, Flint was a logging community and then carriages. So the water had been damaged. They had stopped using the Flint River really back in the early 1900s. So this is not anything new. But to answer your question, yes, it is a daily fight and our commitment and what's happening around the city. A lot of times our city is suffering from severe trauma. They have been severely traumatized. And when you think about the collectiveness over 300 churches, and then you have this level of hopelessness, that's the body of a lot of our work, is how do we spark our community to be excited about living?
Yeah. Just got a minute and a half here. DeWan, you want to take us home?
Yeah, I do want to say, first and foremost, I do want to give a big shout out and congratulations to our family, BLM LA Grassroots. Big shout out to Dr. Molina, right?
Yes.
Big shout out to Baba Akili,
yes.
right? Big shout out to you, right? And
yes.
hold this platform open for communication, right? We do want to thank you all because, I enjoy coming to LA, right? And then being amongst family, doing the work that we're doing, loving on each other. It's exciting. So when I go home, I carry the same energy. So I definitely want to make sure that folks know that we do have 51 chapters all around the country representing Black Lives Matter Grassroots.
Whose house?
We are doing the work, right? And we are staying on the front line. So don't ever think that, Black Lives Matter Grassroots is not doing our work. Well, don't believe the lies that you see in the media.
Yes.
Because I know we take a lot of hits, just because people want to discourage the movement. And then some people be so petty or just mindless to be able to follow suit. And that's a shame, right? Because if you Black, you should always stand for Black Lives Matter. You should always be representing. Sometimes we have our internal issues, right? Family fight sometimes, right? But at the end of the day, if we do want to make a difference, if we do want to be something different, if we do want to pick up with the revolutionary freedom fighters left in the past for us to pick up and move forward on, then we got to stay dedicated and diligent, right? We cannot let and allow those folks to play us against each other. We cannot stand mute and stagnant on the sideline. We need everybody to go ahead and join this fight. We need everybody to be about that business, right? We need to be able to lock in. I'm talking about Black and brown, our brown folks. We need y'all to step up too. And we rocking with you, right? Just like with our movement for Palestine, and of course what's going on with the folks who dealing with ICE.
Yeah,
we in everybody's fight. But Black people need to learn to make sure that you fight for yourself. So one thing for sure, continue to support the movement. Continue to be engaged. If you don't have a local chapter in your community, please start organizing one or frame one, right? Make sure you get your folks involved, and then you do something about the conditions that we all are dealing with.
All right. Well, gonna have to leave it there. But DeWan Robinson and Hubert N. Roberts, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having us.
Black Lives Matter Grassroots Flint. We've got news, traffic, and sports, and we're talking music on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A deadly fire tore through Gabriel House, an assisted living facility in Fall River, Massachusetts, late Sunday. Here's Fall River Mayor Paul Coogan.
It's a terrible tragedy for the family and the residents, and fire department, police, DMS, everybody did a 5-star job.
Multiple residents died, dozens were injured, and 5 firefighters were hurt. The cause is under investigation. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams raised $1 million in one night, rallying support for his independent re-election bid against progressive Democrat Zohran Mamdani. With big donors and bold stakes, the race is heating up fast. And a new report reveals Black health professionals in South Africa face racial bias in fraud investigations by medical schemes. GEMS, which stands for Government Employee Medical Scheme, is taking corrective steps, but Discovery Health disputes the findings. Unions are demanding systemic reform. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.